maybe more like 6 years ago, something like that, a long time ago, a much smaller Sam ago. And now our paths have crossed in a very big way, getting to be up here on stage. But I definitely would have felt a bit more pressure if all the classic guys were very like, tense and just like, don't freaking talk to me. Nah, all the classic guys were super chill backstage. Like we were all just helping each other out. They were very nice. I know the open guys get a little bit more tense, so it might have been different if I was backstage with them. But all the classic guys were sweet. We're all taking pictures. No, they're really cool. And Wesley, I mean, he's super nice. So it was, the pressure was off. We were all just here to perform.
A little bit about how you deal with a lot of us, when we deal with people a little bit older, but you're 24. And when people talk negative, you know, like where you see it on social media, you have a lot of young fans. And at only 24, you get like millions of positive comments, but you always get a lot of some hurtful comments. How do you deal with that? And to the younger people, how can you some advice they can deal with negative comments? Because you're a different age, you're only 24. And let me tell you, if you're 24, can you imagine getting thousands of negative comments of how you look or how you speak? Or that's really, it's something that we never dealt with. How do you deal with that at age 24? Because you're just a kid or a young man. How do you deal with that? And some advice to the people getting the same type of thing in your age group.
Yeah, there's definitely a learning curve. Like the first time you start looking through your comments, everybody's done this. Or at least every, you know, kind of big name out here has caught themselves reading specifically a negative comment, and it's just a psychological feedback loop. You might read 10 nice ones or 100 nice ones, but something about the human brain, you're only going to focus on the one negative one. But the way I look at it is when I started posting videos, in the beginning, you know, every video did the same, a few hundred views. I remember thinking, holy crap, this TikTok just got 100 likes. Nice. That was the most likes I'd ever got before. Like, it was insane. But the way that I kind of spun it around, which I think you should try to do all the time, spin any kind of negative into your mind, translate it, and then just turn it into a positive. It seems kind of far-fetched. But if you only get positive comments, that means your videos and your post is only getting shown to the same, you know, maybe 500 people who like you. So you're not growing. As soon as you start getting negative comments, that's when your videos start doing better. So it's kind of just a positive indicator that you're growing because your stuff is getting shown to more people, and some people don't like what you're into, but that might be 1 out of 100. So you kind of get over it. And then don't forget, you can turn your phone off. You don't always have to actually be looking at it. Like, I have not watched every Sam reaction video that has been posted this week. I've been watching a lot of Trailer Park Boys and just like random YouTube channels of like niche content, stuff like that. And it's made this week very chill.
You got a lot of fans, especially young fans. What do they give you? What do you feel you get from them in the positive? What do you love about your fans?
What's really crazy is when guys tell me that I'm the reason that they started working out. Because I feel like, you know, when I was working out in the beginning, I'm watching, you know, different Athlete X videos or Calvin Von Moger videos and Rich Piana videos. And, you know, I always kind of wondered what I would say to these guys if I ever got to talk to them, like Rich especially, which obviously, you know, now I can. Like, what would I say if I could tell him, like, the stuff that he said got me into the gym or gave me a certain kind of motivation or made me like dig a little bit deeper, or just even get more serious, which doesn't have to be an early in your training situation. You can lock in whenever. You can always take it up a notch. So I've always thought, like, oh, what would I say to the guys who got me started? And now it's like, wow, I'm getting the same, you know, back and forth, but from the opposite direction. And it kind of makes me forget how long I've been doing this for, that somebody could tell me they've been working out for 2.5 years because they started watching my videos. It doesn't feel like I've been doing these for 2.5 years. Like, it just puts it into a really cool perspective. And then one thing that really gets me going is when guys show me a photo Sam, I lost 100 pounds in 4 months, or not 4 months, like 6 months. Look at this transformation photo, and it's unrecognizable because me and him can kind of click because there's no way that anyone can lose that much weight without doing their cardio and without counting their calories, which is like my main thing that I'm always talking about. So some people will tell me they started counting their calories, they're doing cardio. Well, I don't have any proof. But when this guy shows me he lost 150 pounds over the course of a year, well, that's some pretty substantial proof. So I know that he's been doing it and that he kind of understands the value.
What means most to you? Being a pro league athlete on stage or changing lives like that? Those type of stories that you change people's lives. You save their lives from all type of things. What means more to you, that or competing?
Oh, hearing that from other people is definitely more valuable. And when it comes to competing, it's not exactly my main motivation. I think I've got two coinciding goals which just happen to be exactly the same. So for one, I just want to keep getting bigger because it's cool. I want to see myself at maybe 270 pounds or 260 pounds, bulked, and then I want to diet down and see how I look lean with a bit more muscle. And well, I just described what bodybuilding is. So even if I never competed again, I'm still going to keep bodybuilding. That's the fun part for me. Obviously, competing is insane, and like this is a crazy weekend, but it doesn't really change who I am. Like I'm the same guy today as I was yesterday, but now I've competed. I'm the same guy after I went pro as I was before. You know, you don't suddenly, it's not like magic. You're still you. Life goes on. And for me, the gym is going to be indefinite. I couldn't even imagine a day where I wouldn't want to hit the gym going forward. Like that's like a bad universe, alternate reality where I lose it with the gym.
With so many fans, do you feel now that you have a responsibility as a role model to be a positive to everyone? I know I also really loved Rich Piana, but as you said, some things you listen to, maybe not everything. Do you feel you now as a huge role model and you're just growing, you feel some type of responsibility to be a role model and do the right things? Is that something you think about throughout life or throughout your day?
Yeah, a little bit, but that's kind of how I am anyway. Like I'm not really like kind of a party guy. Like I'm not worried about somebody taking a picture of me like coming out of a club or something, or like not to call out Tiger Woods. That's probably not going to happen with me. But that's not because of a social media following. That's just because that's not really how I roll. So I could definitely feel the pressure of, okay, there's a lot of people watching me. I better not do anything crazy. But that's just how I am anyway. I want to wake up, do my cardio, get a pump, go home and chill. That's kind of just what I like.
Guys, you do hear this is bodybuilding, yeah? This is like bodybuilding lifestyle. So I'm so happy that that's why you're so, this is so good for me because it's bodybuilding. You're spreading the word of bodybuilding, the lifestyle, doing the right choices, the structure. This is why we love bodybuilding with getting bigger and stronger. So I'm really happy that you are a bodybuilder, Sam. It's great. We need this for the sport, you know? So that's why I'm so happy that you made it, because bodybuilding needs something like this, yeah? That you just live the bodybuilding lifestyle and you put time and effort into it. And it's fantastic, Sam. I'm really happy to see your success. This year, do we have something you want to accomplish outside bodybuilding? Is there anything new, any dreams you want to do or see? Is there any places you want to go? Is there some parts of the world you haven't seen? Is there a rap album coming out? Is there something you want to do in 2026?
I hate to say that I don't have any non-bodybuilding related goals. That's kind of the main thing. Like I've really been looking forward to getting some more food in my system since last year in August when I started kind of dieting down. So I mean, really my goal is just to kind of get bigger. But it ends up bleeding into everything else, you know. So whatever else comes, we'll just have to see what happens.
How do you start just a little bit? We know you've been popular for your eating before, and you changed your eating a little bit. When we're going into off-season now, have you planned your calories around? Is it going to be a lot of food? Do we know the calories around, or do you go by feel?
No, I'll ease into it. The more you every bulk and every diet, you get a little smarter. It's as long as you pay a little bit of attention. It's just kind of the nature of things. I haven't had a gallon of chocolate milk in quite a while, so I think I've adjusted a little bit. But once you start eating as much food as you're really growing, you kind of start seeing when you eat more junk. Like if you're always eating fast food or just whatever, it kind of starts like just making you feel kind of sluggish. So now, I mean, I'm not even thinking that I want to eat something super crazy. It's like, give me a big bowl of rice with barbecue sauce and like half a steak. Like that'll be perfect. Like the more whole foods that I end up eating, I kind of visualize like my body's a filter. The simpler the foods are, the less that's going to gunk up the filter. And then it's easier to eat more food, and I can keep growing and I can get bigger. And there's nothing wrong with a dirty bulk if you don't put on too much body fat. But at this point, I'm a little bit cleaner with it. So I'll start at maintenance, and then I'll increase it and increase it and increase it, just so I'm gradually in a steady surplus. Because the last thing you want to do in a bulk, which I've been criticized a little bit, I've mandated that we reach 200 pounds in an off season. That may not be necessarily right for everyone. What if somebody's 5'2"? 200 pounds would look insane. So what I really mean is in an off season where you're trying to leverage your calories and actually grow and make the scale change, I do not recommend that every pound of muscle is accompanied by 4 pounds of body fat. That ratio pretty much sucks. So try to stay relatively lean, but still watch the scale increase. If you do your cardio during a bulk, that'll help this situation. You won't get so soft. So, I mean, I did my 30 minutes this morning after a little chest day at Dino's. So, as big as I'm going to get, I'm still going to be pedaling because it'll help me stay a little bit leaner. I won't have to get so soft, and I can, I can make room for some Ben and Jerry's every so often.
Last question. Give some advice to the young people that want to achieve their best life. What can they do to get to, well, maybe not to your level, but to go to the top, to try to go to the top, because you already at the top at this age. So if you're starting out, you're young, some advice to live the best life they can live.
Yeah, I think a really important part of, or how I could kind of describe it, for me at least, is I'd say the gym is like my thing. Apart from the fact that I think everybody should work out at least a little bit, even if you don't love the gym, even if you're not a gym rat, everybody should get a pump every now and again, a couple days a week. But if the gym is your thing, then you should treat it like that. And you should kind of respect that, okay, I want to get good at this. If you know in your mind, like, okay, I really have a legitimate interest and like desire to progress, well, then your week should reflect that. I know a lot of guys where, oh man, 2026, bro, I just went to the Arnold, I'm going to lock in. And then 3 months later, not really. Oh, I had to take a month off. My shoulder was doing this thing, and just being a slacker. So if you really know you want to get after it, it's like, who are you fooling? You should really try to improve your training, improve your intensity, just focus on your diet a bit. I'm not saying you have to track every calorie instantly, but if you just start with tracking your protein, get a little bit of cardio in, even if the goal at first is, okay, I want to go to the gym 3 times this week. That's my goal, right? For some of us, you'd think, oh, I'm going to the gym 6 times a week. That's nothing. But that's just because you're already ahead of the game. Not everybody is starting where you're starting. So even if it's just, I want to go 3 times a week, it doesn't matter what I want to do, but I'm going to go Monday, Wednesday, Friday. As soon as you've done that twice in a row, it's going to be that much easier to say, I think I might go Saturday. I think I might add Tuesday to the mix. And then before you know it, the 3 days being your goal is now, okay, I'm going 6 days a week. So now showing up, that's your bar. You're already doing that. And you can say, all right, I want to make my training sessions better. I want my shirt dripping sweat at least once. I'm going to do the treadmill, I'm going to do a leg day, just always trying to step it up. And I've done this before. A very